Does anyone know someone in the bathroom right now? Good, and that's one of the cast, so you're fine. They're a pottying cast. Welcome to Slipstream Theater Initiative. Welcome to closing night of Hedda Gabler, which has been an absolute treat. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we have. As you can see, it's a really small space. Actors are going to be right by your feet a lot. I'm going to actually move that. They might kick you and hurt you. So obviously, I hate to say this because it's a no-brainer, but please, now is the time. Check your cell phones, make sure they're not on, they're not going to vibrate, and Siri's not going to ask you. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What? Oh, thanks. Oh, I know which Hedda would have fixed that one. You'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so a couple quick things. The show runs an hour and 20 minutes, no intermission. I think I've told you that 3 times. Slipstream is a 501c3 non-profit, so all donations are tax deductible, and believe me, we could use them, whether you have 50 cents, which pays for some water for an actor who's parched, or $5. You would not believe how much, how far it can go. So if you have it to give, please, we would love it. You could donate via me, via the website, via calling to the spirits, or however you donate. Also, word of mouth is really awesome, so please, if you like what you saw, tell people about Slipstream. This is our second season, our second show. We have a back space, a back theater as well, which right now Puzzle Piece Theater is doing RUR, Rocko's Universal Robots. That runs one more weekend. So you can come back and see another show back there. Very cool concept. Okay, this is our Hedda Gabler production script, which is only our version. You have never read this adaptation because I wrote it. Henrik Ibsen wrote the play, John Monahan, but I wrote this adaptation. It includes stills from our production that you will see tonight. So if you would like a copy of this, you can buy it on Amazon for $10, or you could buy it here tonight with us for $5. There is a gunshot in the show, so if you are if that scares you, the bathrooms are right there. And there's also a small flame, very small. If it gets larger, the exit is right there, right where you came in. And we have fire extinguishers back there and, burly guys that can put that out for you. Other than that, I think we are good to go, so please.
One more.
Sit.
Apologies for interrupting.
You don't get to pee, I'm sorry.
I didn't expect to.
All right, with that, the doors are locked, the show is starting, and I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to stay after and say hi to everyone afterwards, and thank you for coming.
There was a time when my world was filled with darkness. And I stopped dreaming, now I'm supposed to fill it up with something. In your eyes, I see the eyes of somebody I knew before, long ago.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt.
Ring around the
Sticks and
rose.
stones may break
I
my bones.
sugar and
Words
spice
will
and
never
everything nice. That's what girls are made of.
We all fall down.
Hedda, what's got your attention outside?
Lovely. Can't believe it's fall already.
Something's on your mind.
Yes. It's just that Tessman, your aunt, was here and she left her hat just sitting out for all the world to see.
So, what's wrong with that?
It's an obnoxious hat.
It doesn't go with the furniture.
Well, the next time I see her, I'll say something to her.
I don't mean to be so fussy about it, but honestly, Tessman, this is our house.
She can't just leave her things lying about.
People don't do such things.
I will talk to her, but you can try being a bit nicer.
Perhaps.
What do you think of my piano in that room there?
What do I think of it?
Doesn't it seem out of place?
So old.
Maybe if I moved it.
Hedda, you're not going to try and move the piano. Will you just relax and enjoy the fall day? And once I get my promotion, I can buy you 100 new pianos. We can just throw that old one out.
It's played all of my memories, Tessman. I don't want
I
to get rid of it.
Simply wanted to
Stop clashing.
And why are there flowers on it?
Oh, perhaps the gentleman caller of yours.
You're funny. Oh, see if there's a card.
Oh, it's from Thea Elstead. She's back in town.
Your old girlfriend.
Hardly. Lasted about a month, and I doubt either of us remember very much of it.
Lucky you.
She had incredibly annoying hair.
You know, I haven't talked to her since high
Why
school.
would she send us flowers? Dreadful creature.
Maybe she just wanted to congratulate us on getting married.
They always want more.
You know, she's probably going to try to go after you again.
Oh, is somebody jealous?
A comedic genius.
Well, she's married to a sheriff in some godforsaken southern town where everybody's related. Do you remember Eilert Lovborg? I think he lives there as well. You know, I always hoped that he would get his act together. Such a hopeless drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely hopeless.
Of course, I've forgotten completely about him.
All the old ghosts start to reappear once you're caught up in married life, don't they? Don't they?
They'll disappear again just as quickly. Would you like to play something for me?
You always played so well, Mrs. Tessman.
How lovely.
We were just talking about you.
How long have you been standing there?
Just long enough. Oh, do forgive me. I let myself, just let myself in. I'm in a bit of a state.
By all means.
You look a fright.
Come sit next to me.
I'm not sure I should have come.
Don't be tedious.
Come on, out with it. We haven't time for school games.
Hedda?
No, she's right. Okay, as I'm sure you know, Eilert Lovborg is in the city, this sinful city, and he's surrounded by, well, his past. And for almost 2 years now, we have been clean and sober. He's lived with us. He's taught our children and, well, my stepchildren. And as you already know, he's written a book. I think the success of the book is what triggered him coming back here. See, for the past year, he was so inspired that the pages just happened. But then it was gone, and now so is he.
So you've come here to find him then?
Why wouldn't your husband have come instead?
Oh, he's very busy. Besides, I miss the city anyway. Regardless, I've come because I can't seem to find him. And I know he was very good friends with you back in high school, Mr. Tessman. I'm sure he will call you, and I hope you'll receive him well.
Yes, of course.
He really needs a friend right now. Someone with his best interests in mind, so please, if you hear from him...
Tessman, why don't you make some calls? You're sure to be able to find him.
Have a conversation.
Invite him over.
Could you do that?
Yeah, sure, that shouldn't be much of a problem. Well, I will get right to it.
Don't be overly sentimental, Tessman.
But do be thorough.
Thank you.
Was it too obvious? I wanted him out of the room.
No, why would you want him out of the room?
You're
You're not telling me the whole story, Thora.
What? What? It's Thea, by the way.
The whole story.
Come on, out with it.
Secrets don't make friends. Oh, we were never friends, Mrs. Tessman.
Oh, were we? Back in school?
You used to yank my hair.
In good fun.
You threatened to set it on fire senior year.
I was a prankster.
How silly of you to take it so seriously.
Now, we must start all over so you don't think I mean you any ill will. Please,
Call me Hedda, and I will call you Thora.
Thea.
No, don't say that.
Perhaps I heard wrong.
Now, Thea, tell me, how long have you been living in that awful town?
5 years. I went to be a tutor to Sheriff Elfstead's children. His wife was sick.
And then he became his mistress.
And then his wife.
And how long has Loveborg been living with your family?
A few years now. He took over tutoring the children, and I became mother.
And daughter.
Excuse me.
Your husband.
He's like twice your age, isn't he?
Well, yes, he is.
Oh, poor Thea.
I see right through you, you know.
Well, I have no idea what you mean.
Do you love your husband?
We tolerate each other. He doesn't love in general.
Well, he must love Eilert.
He sent you all the way here to find him.
Thea.
Be honest.
You came looking for him yourself, didn't you?
He's your lover.
How on earth did you figure that out?
Well, I have instincts.
And intellect.
Also have eyes.
And you look like a lovesick puppy.
Is it that obvious? And yet you're still sitting here talking to me. You aren't phased?
Of course not.
That's
This
what
is what
friends are
friends
for.
Well, I'm not used to kindness. Thank you, Mrs. Tessman.
Hedda.
Yes. Hedda. Thank you.
Do you plan on telling your husband when you go back home?
Oh, I'm not going back there.
Oh.
I'm not. I am staying wherever Eilert is.
How did you two even start?
Yes, how did it start?
I encouraged him when we first got sober. I was the only one to do so, you know. I helped him focus on writing and other positive things, and he appreciated that. And of course, he made me feel alive. For once, I had only ever felt like a hand-me-down purchased at a resale shop. And I'd allowed that, you see, but Eilert, he taught me that I was worth more than that. And we worked together on his book. He included me. He said I was his muse.
So you are responsible for his new life then.
Congratulations.
He says that too. I'm not responsible for it. I saw something that no one else did.
So now here you are to live happily ever after in the city of sin.
With a successfully published writer.
Thea.
I'd say things are going well.
There is something else.
Gift that keeps on giving.
There's a woman.
Isn't there always?
Yes. But this one is from his past.
What's her name?
Oh, burger hair.
He didn't say. He only mentioned her once in a long discussion that we had about our regrets. Ever since, she has been like a ghost in our presence. I think he wants to reconnect.
What did he tell you about her?
Maybe we can find her.
Only that they broke up because she threatened to shoot him in the head with a gun.
Absurd.
People don't do such things.
There was a jazz singer years ago, fire red hair. They say she carried pistols in her purse. I've always thought it was her.
Sounds like a girl.
And she's still here. Can you imagine? What if he goes back to her?
Don't be silly.
All right, ladies, the deed is done.
And Thea was just leaving.
Yes. Thank you so much, Hedda. So much. I will be back later in case he stops by.
Back. I hope I'm not disturbing you.
Judge Brack.
I love it to see her face in the daylight.
It's much different than the evening.
A little more youthful, I think.
Please meet my friend Thea. Thea Elfstead.
Judge, doesn't Hedda look absolutely ravishing?
Oh, well.
Yes, always.
Lovely to meet you. Please excuse me.
Judge, I must see my friend out.
Oh, you'll wait here for me to return before telling secrets to my husband, won't you?
So, Judge, care to see what we've done with the loan?
I can tell from the receipts. Quite extravagant. I wish you'd gone a little lighter.
Well, you know Hedda, that wouldn't have worked for her.
Yes, well, you may want to think about how to downsize.
Judge, I'll be getting my promotion soon. It won't be long before we can pay you back in full. Is that what you've come about?
In not so many words. I'm sure you've heard, though, that your old friend is back in town, Eilert Loveborg.
Yeah, how many times can that man's name be said within the course of one afternoon? Yes, Eilert is back in town. And yes, he has written a wildly successful book. I'm still working on mine.
His is so successful.
Boy, Brack.
Out of nowhere. We all assumed he'd drink himself to death, but instead he's written the
sober
next...
and published. Brack, what'd you come for?
Oh, that. It is about your promotion, really. Now that Loveborg's back in town, there's going to be kind of a competition for the position.
Breck, you've got to be kidding me. Well, Hedda and I were married with this promotion virtually promised. I borrowed from you on that notion. Well, I borrowed from my Aunt Julia, too. Breck, I spent most of my honeymoon researching.
I know, but he's established quite a name now, and though I know you will too, for the moment, he's become very recognized.
Until he takes a drink.
Tessman, it's just going to be a contest. You can win it. I'm telling you ahead of time so that you can prepare.
Oh, thanks for that.
So, an old-fashioned duel between you and I, eh, Tessman?
And this is exciting news to you?
Oh, come now, Tessman.
Competition is always exciting.
It challenges one to show his true colors.
It would be wise, Mrs. Tessman, to rethink some of the purchases I hear you've threatened. Tessman, I'll be back this afternoon to take you to my party.
Dear Judge, please see that he actually goes with you. You may have to drag him after giving him this news.
Oh, no, I'll be there. And I suppose I can bring my old friend along with me, too.
Competition is healthy, George.
Don't be a baby about it.
I'll see you this afternoon.
Which purchases am I to give up?
Hedda, we can't live quite like I promised. I mean, not with the future so unsure. We'll have to give a couple of things back. We won't be able to hire any sort of housekeepers. Well, of course, your horse.
Tessman, not the horse.
Yes. Yes, I suppose that is something that can wait. But there's one thing I ask remains. Only one thing.
What one thing? Is it your piano?
My piano is a given. But George,
My pistols.
I couldn't part with those.
Your pistols.
General Gabler's pistols.
I will not part with those.
Nobody knows it but me. I slip, yeah, I slip, and slip, and then go. I'm shaking streets just to hide in this place, but I'm still, and then go. Nobody knows it but me. I slip, yeah, I slip, and slip, and then go.
No, I can't.
Don't shoot, I'm innocent, I swear.
Judge, jury, and executioner. Which would you like me to be, Judge Breck?
You and those pistols. Is your husband home?
Oh, you're earlier than he expected.
You should be back shortly.
So we're alone.
We are indeed.
What shall we do?
Oh, I can think of a few things. It's been a while since we were alone, Mrs. Tessman.
No, I'm a married woman, Judge.
I can't flirt like a schoolgirl with you.
How is that working out, being a married woman?
Oh, it's boring. I want to pull my hair out.
That's what marriage is.
Generally, yes. But the honeymoon. Did you at least enjoy the honeymoon, you extravagant little thing?
The honeymoon?
I'm married to a writer.
A writer of science. Researching gets him off more than anything I could ever do.
Besides research with him.
No. He spent the whole of the time talking about history and science and his ridiculous obsession with birds.
Birds!
And all the things that are supposed to make someone educated.
I'd much rather prefer a silent lover.
He is a little infatuated with his work, but that's endearing, isn't it?
In its own small way, yes.
You chose him, Hedda. You could have gone many different routes. The daughter of a general as decorated as your father? You could have chosen any man you wanted.
Yeah, but he seemed the most logical choice.
Besides, you know how tired I got. There was
Who's
nothing new
new?
to do or learn.
Plus, he promised to provide for me. Promised everything a girl is supposed to want. Wouldn't you agree? George Tessman is the picture of
respectability.
Yes. And over time, you'll learn to love him.
Oh, I hate that word. How could anyone be bound eternally to one person, one
One
identity,
identity,
day in and day out? History, science. My brain is bleeding.
You could always invite a third into the bedroom to spice things up.
One man has no sexual instincts, the other has perverted
Are
ones.
all humans so one-dimensional?
You've got to learn to control that temper of yours.
It's not a temper.
It's an impulse. It comes over me sometimes.
Can't help it.
It's because you aren't happy.
I have no reason to be.
Nobody ever does, really.
You have all the things you ever wanted.
Ha, that's the funny thing.
You know, when George was first courting me, we passed by this house on a walk home.
He was fumbling with his words, so out of pity, I
Me?
changed the
He
conversation.
said, "Look at that gorgeous house."
Can you imagine living in a house
Oh,
like that? I would
just
just
die
die
to
to live there.
Did you not mean it?
I hate this house.
It smells like dead flowers.
Maybe you should take up a hobby.
I have hobbies. It's my husband who needs something else.
Mm-hmm.
Thought about getting him into politics.
But he's not tough enough.
I also thought about sending him into religion, but
He doesn't believe in anything, so
here we
here we
are.
are.
You need something stimulating to happen. That's your problem. You're understimulated.
Think.
Brad, you're here. I hope you don't mind waiting for a few. Eilert's supposed to meet me here later.
Is he coming to my party? I'm not sure that's such a good idea. You two are vying for the same position, and well, we all know how adamant you get when you've been drinking.
Competition is healthy. George, is Eilert really on his way over?
Yeah, why wouldn't he be? Oh, I picked up his book, read through it a little. It's damn good, but not better than I can do.
Good.
Anyway, Brad, I don't think Eilert will compete against me. He knows what's at stake for me, and he's a true friend, even after all these years.
Friend.
Do you think it wise for him to be at a party with his peers in an atmosphere of drinking?
He could stay here.
Thea's coming back over.
We could talk about his book.
Or politics.
Oh, politics. Ugh. No, he'll be fine. I'll look over him.
Eilert, George. Thank you so much for calling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was nervous you might not want to see me. Really nice of your house. It's really, really something. Hedda. Mrs. Tessman. May I be so bold as to shake your hand?
But of course.
We're all friends here.
Hi, how astute you look, Eilert. Here, meet Judge Brack.
Pleasure.
So are you back in town for good, then?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, wonderful.
You'll be joining our little circle then, Mr. Loveboard.
Well, oh, congratulations on your new book. I picked it up, but I've only really skimmed through it.
It's not worth your time, George.
A book with this much praise.
I'm sure that's not the case. Hedda, did you hear the man?
Yes,
Yes,
I'm
I'm
standing
right here with the rest of you.
Really, George?
It's trash. I wrote what people wanted to like, but there's none of me in it. It's common, made for the common people.
Knowingly writing for the common man.
I may have misjudged you.
I like the book. In fact, I found it quite intriguing.
I simply mean, it's not what I wanted to write. What I wanted to write is now complete.
Oh, you've written another book already?
This is my true work. It's about the future, about the way science will advance. Almost a prediction. The protagonist is a woman who has absorbed all the knowledge of the universe and sets forth to create the world anew after the earth has been set on fire. I dare say, it's really something.
You have written another book.
Yes, I have.
He's written another book. You hear that, George?
I brought the manuscript with me. I wanted my old friend to read it before anyone else. There, have a look.
Imagine that. Some people really can be reformed.
Well, but this isn't your handwriting, though, is it?
No, it's Thea's. Thea Elvsted, Sheriff Elvsted's wife. You remember. Thea Riesing, I believe, when you knew her.
Yes, she was here just a moment ago.
She spoke very highly of you.
She's meant to come back over shortly, in fact.
You know, I don't really have time to read it, but I mean, did you dictate or like how?
Yes, the words, they came too quickly to write. You know how it is. Thea had worked on the first book, actually contributed much to it since I'm not certain what people want to like. And so she was eager to help out on this one, as you can imagine, but I assure you, George, these thoughts are all mine.
The suspense is killing me. Let me see it.
No, we really should be getting to the party, gentlemen.
George, the party. I told you on the phone I didn't think it was a good idea.
I mean, you're a changed man now. Look at you, 2 books. Besides, it'll be an opportunity for you to share excerpts from the new manuscript.
There is that.
With contemporaries. How long's it been since you've been amongst friends?
I'd hardly call your lot contemporaries, Judge. You give yourself too much credit.
Now, gentlemen, if Mr. Loveboard fears for sobriety amongst colleagues,
He may
can
certainly stay
with
here.
Thea and me.
Now listen to your excerpts.
Yes, you're probably right.
Nonsense. Come, be with friends. I'll look over you.
How can you say no to a face like George Tessman's? He's practically the picture of respectability.
I think it best to stay behind. Though, I thank you. Both. George, as you know, I've done some thinking, and with everyone gathered here, you mentioned how important this position is to you.
Oh, yeah, the duel!
And I only want a moral victory. I will wait until there's another opening at the college.
A true friend. Absolutely.
Perhaps we should thank the man George.
You look dumbstruck.
Thank you.
A moral victory. Is that worth much?
Depends on who you ask.
I suppose it does.
A drink.
To celebrate then, gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
Some champagne before the party?
Not for me, of course.
Oh, well, surely one little toast won't lead you too astray, eh, Mr. Loveboard?
It's not poison.
Not for everyone.
Hedda,
No.
don't be so inconsiderate.
Well, forgive me for wanting to celebrate a victory or moral or whatever.
George, shall we grab a drink before we go?
Go on ahead. I'll wait for you here.
I only wanted to congratulate you, of course.
Oh, do you want to see our wedding pictures?
George insisted on having so many.
I'd
much rather just look at you, Hedda. Hedda Gabler.
Tessman,
Hedda Tessman now, Mr. Loveboard.
please.
Let go of me.
Tessman. How dare you?
Excuse me?
To run off and get married, and to George Tessman, of all people.
Oh, how dare you?
And for as long as I live, I will have to call you Hedda Tessman. That kills me.
Isler Loveboard, get
Get
it together
together.
now.
We are in the present.
I am Hedda Tessman, and from what I hear, you are more of an Elfstead than a Loveboard anyway.
Oh, George, I was just going to find you.
Where on earth is our wedding album?
I wanted to show our friends beautiful pictures.
It's on the shelf, just above the book.
No wonder.
Did you come in for something?
Yes. Did you want any champagne?
Of course.
Thank you.
Hedda?
Call me by my first name again, I will smack you.
Oh, God, please do not tell me you love him.
Oh, don't use that word. Don't be ridiculous.
But I am faithful.
Fine. Answer one.
Here we
I
are.
do not love these pictures.
Enjoying the wedding, Albert Albert?
Oh, it was a lovely wedding, George. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
2 glasses, George.
After lecturing me on offering him some.
The second glass was for Mrs. Elfstead. You said she was coming back.
Right.
Had you forgotten?
Yes, I was just lost in these photos.
Oh, yes, fond memories indeed, and a glimpse of the future. Well, I will be in the kitchen if anybody needs anything.
What question?
Did you not love me?
What again?
Hey, you forget that I knew you. That I know you, who you really are, underneath that fancy get of yours. Come on, tell me. Wasn't that love that was between us in those days? When your father was in the next room,
We'd sit huddled up on the couch.
looking at blank paper, imagining it was our own wedding album?
Oh, yeah.
The thoughts of the young.
It was more than that, you know it. I'd lie in your lap and confess to you my darkest thoughts, my most savage desires. You'd listen. You knew me, and I knew you. You had such a power over me.
I have power.
You sound ridiculous.
How else can you explain it? You would ask the most daring questions, so raw and to the point, without blushing or doing the things that most girls would.
Well, was I to help that you chose me to be your minister?
Besides, I did not ask obscene questions in a frank manner.
I hinted at them.
Oh, you hinted frankly. In fact, you dug.
Using
Desperate
to tell
to tell someone.
Admitting. You wanted to hear. You wanted to know. We were good together.
Is it so hard to believe?
That a young girl might want to get a taste of a world that is completely forbidden. I think it's unnatural.
More than a taste. Is that all it was?
Mostly. Mostly, I think it was that.
Partners in our hunger for life. So, why couldn't it continue?
It was your fault.
Mine. You aimed a pistol at me.
It had grown. The relationship had grown too serious.
And, why didn't you shoot?
That was a first scandal.
Yes. A coward at heart.
Lucky for you, isn't it? I was so cowardly.
Besides,
Now
Well,
you
you
have
have
Thea.
Thea.
Figured she told you everything?
But you didn't tell her everything. About us.
Of course not. She's too stupid to understand.
Oh, so now she's stupid and I'm a coward.
How you are.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
Never mind. Look, I will confess something to you. Be even. Not shooting you that night was not my most cowardly act.
You couldn't go through with it either. Hedda, I knew it. You and I, after all, it was your hunger for life.
Don't believe a word I say. Thea! Come join us. The men will be out in a moment. They're off to a party. Judge Brett.
You too, Ivor.
No, I'm staying here.
Isn't that good news?
Let's all sit and catch up, shall we?
Thea, sit by me.
Me.
Mr. Lovelord. Chair.
As you wish, Hedda.
Did you know, Mrs. Tessman, that Thea and I have become the closest of friends? She helped me write. She has been my inspiration.
Isn't that great?
Yes. We have absolute trust in one another. We can speak with frankness.
You don't have to hint at things, you mean?
And she is so brave, Mrs. Tessman.
What I wouldn't give to be brave. And maybe life could be bearable.
Thea! Have some champagne.
No, thank you, I don't drink.
Mr. Lovelord,
I believe you know my thoughts on the matter?
what if I say you should?
I'd still say no. Thank you.
Hedda.
You mean I...
Have no power over you, Mr. Lovelord?
Not in that way, no.
But for your own sake.
Really should.
Hedda, what are you doing?
It's true. You don't want others thinking that you...
Have confidence in yourself and your abilities.
That you're insecure?
Secure with your chain.
Didn't you notice the way my husband looked at Judge Brack when you refused to drink earlier?
I did not refuse you, in fact.
And again, the way Judge Brack glanced at my husband when you refused to go to his party.
Even after being invited to read your manuscript.
I wanted to stay here and talk to you. To both of you.
Hedda, he is very secure, I assure you.
Yeah.
Is that why you came in so frantically earlier?
Begging my husband to keep a watchful eye on him.
Because you're so convinced that he's reformed.
Well, Now you can see
He's
he is
right
right
in
as
his own
mud.
mind.
We can have a little party of our own.
You came here for that?
Hedda, what are you thinking?
They're all friends. There's no harm done.
No. Let's have a little chat.
Shall we?
Thea, you asked my friend to watch over me. Because I can't take care of myself. And here I thought, no, forget that. Did your husband send you into town after me? Or was it actually him that wanted me back? Missed his shoe shining, did he?
How could you?
Here's to you, friend. And here's to you, Hedda Gabler. Thank you for the truth.
Take it easy, Mr. Loveboy.
Remember,
You are to read your manuscript
At
at
the
the party later.
Thea, I'm sorry. I understand that you might question me, but I swear to you, I am a changed man. And I will prove it to you. I am changed because of you.
I would think the penguin would mate as many times as possible. Stay warm, if nothing else. So, we meet again, Mrs. Elstead.
We do indeed.
You'll have to excuse us, but we really should be getting on. Judge Brack wouldn't want to be late, you know. Bad hosts and all, bad jokes are enough.
I think I will be joining you after all.
Will you?
You did invite me so nicely. And George, I would love to read some of this to you and get your thoughts on it.
What a change a day can bring. Then I suppose Mrs. Elfstead will spend the evening with you, Hedda.
I'll pick you up at 10.
that's
All
all settled.
Very well. Now, Hedda, I can't promise that I'll be back.
No, George.
You may stay out for as long as you like.
Let's get a move on, gents.
10 o'clock then. Good night.
Hedda, what were you thinking? What is going to happen tonight?
You heard him. At 10 o'clock, he'll be here.
Oh, I can almost see him.
Vine leaves in his hair, flushed and fearless.
And then you will see. He's finally proven control over himself.
And be free.
A free man.
Well, I hope you're right. I pray to God.
It's exactly as he will come.
Pat him all you like.
I will.
I believe in him.
Well, what's your agenda? Clearly, there is something in this for you.
Yes. For the first time in my life.
I shall have the power.
Shape a human destiny.
The power. You've always had power.
Ugh, I have not. Once.
And then it's
Almost.
gone. And I never got it back.
Well, you have power over your husband, surely, the way you've gotten on with men.
He's not worth the trouble.
Besides, you're blind.
Blind to how rich fate has made you.
What a
and
mockery
your
life
life
has made of me.
I think I will burn your hair after all.
Hedda, I want to go home at once.
Nonsense, you stupid little.
We should have a drink.
A toast.
And wait until 10. When he will be here.
With
Vine leaves in his hair.
Are you free or are you tired? I think it's just a hot in this place, but I'm still an animal. Nobody knows.
Rise and shine.
It's nearly 7.
It's morning already. And no one has come.
How stupid of us to wait up until 4 in the morning.
Do you think the worst has happened?
What do you think the worst is there?
No. Sure they all stay the night at Judge Brack's.
We had quite a large house, you know.
Don't you see it now? A group of grown men sitting around a fire listening to a man read from his manuscript.
Vine leaves in his hair. Oh, and I'm the foolish one.
Yes. You are blind.
Maybe I am.
Oh,
Dear God, you look like dust.
Oh, I feel like that.
Go rest in my room. I'll wake you as soon as I hear from the men.
You promise?
Don't you trust me?
Go. Lie down. I swear I'll wake you.
Thank you.
Oh, Hedda, oh, you are up early.
Quite an observation, Testament.
I thought for sure you'd be asleep.
They had just went to rest in our room.
Has she been here all night?
Oh, no, get together. Poor thing. Did you enjoy yourself at least?
Oh, are you worried about me, my little lark?
I don't know how to worry.
They asked if you enjoyed yourself.
I guess. Oh, Hedda. So, when we got there, Brad had so much to do that Eilert and I had nothing but time, so he read his manuscript to me. Oh, Hedda, you cannot imagine how wonderful it is. It's a work of art. It transcends genre. It's everything, nothing. It's a complete masterpiece.
That's wonderful, of course. But I'm not concerned about his book.
Can I have something to confess to you?
Sure.
Have something to confess?
I am all ears.
Well, when Eilert read his new book to me, I became consumed with this jealousy and
You.
Jealous.
I mean, here's this man who practically rose from the dead to deliver what the world considers to be a great work of art, and then he goes even further by creating this work of pure brilliance, and then...
You know, really hate it when you trail off at the end of your sentences there, George.
And then what?
And then how quickly he returns to his old ways.
What
What
happened?
happened?
Well, it was a fantastic party. I mean, we were all in our element.
Did he have vine leaves in his hair?
What?
I learned.
No, of course not. But come to think of it. What he did have was way too much to drink. And he rambled on and on this half-coherent speech about the woman who inspired the main character and
Was she?
Mrs. Elstead, I suppose. I don't know. He didn't say. Anyway, after Brax, we all went out to the bar, and we were there for a couple of hours, and then we stepped out to get some air, and that's when I got separated. I got caught in the song of a nightingale. You know, it's fascinating. The nightingale...
What happened when you fell behind?
Strangest thing. I sat down on the side of the road to bask in the glory of the nightingale, and sitting beside me, almost as if fate wanted it that way, was Eilert's manuscript. He had dropped it without even noticing. That's how far gone he was.
Did you give it back to him?
No, not the way he was. You just lost it again.
Did you tell anyone you found it?
No, how could I? I didn't want people to think badly of him.
So no one else knows that you have it. Not even I.
No. By the time I caught up to the group, Eilert had slipped away. Breck too, for that matter. So the rest of us went back to somebody's house to try and sober up. Yeah, I'll take some time to rest, let Eilert do the same, and I'll give it back to him when he's sober.
No. Not yet. Don't give it back to him. Just yet.
I want to read it.
Oh, Hedda, I don't know. I mean, he is going to be a mess when he realizes he can't find it. I mean, it's not like a work like this can be reproduced. I mean, his very soul is in it.
I'm sure he could write it again.
He must have a record of it somewhere.
No, this is all there is.
Oh, Testament, there was a phone call for you earlier. The number's in the other room.
she's been in a terrible accident. I have to go. Please come with me.
No, I can't be around sickness.
Spies on this.
Okay. Well, I've got to go. I'll at least send your love.
Judge Brack is coming up the walk.
Oh, God, I can't deal with that right now.
I can.
The manuscript.
Go quickly. I'll keep it safe until you return.
He's off in a rush.
His aunt needed him for something.
So, we are left alone again. It's becoming habitual.
Have you not slept either?
You men.
Did Tessman tell you about our night?
Bits and pieces. Men do.
Are you here to tell me more?
Oh, I never keep anything from you. Do you know where Eilert Lovborg and a few others ended up last night?
I imagine you're about to tell me.
They went to a very private, very lively party.
Tell me everything.
Well, they were all invited ahead of time. Of course, Lovborg, being a new man and all, declined. But some sort of spirit moved him, apparently.
I can think of a few spirits that had a hand in moving her, must say.
It is unfortunate. Men are so rarely as firm in our principles as we think we are.
Oh, men besides you.
Hey, Judge.
Back to your story.
The party was at Miss Diana's, the jazz singer in town?
Redhead.
Yes. The huntress, as we call her.
Ooh.
I'm sure you know, Lovborg has always been one of her greatest fans. Well, at some point, something happened between the two because a huge fight broke out.
A fight?
Scandalous.
And pitiful. Lovborg believed with all his might that Diana had stolen his wallet, among other things, and he went after her. She fought back, and the police were called. Then Lovborg assaulted one of the officers. Oh, no! He spent the rest of the night in jail. I'm sure this morning he's regretting ever having come back to town.
What is your reason for telling me this, Judge?
Come now. You don't think I'm an idiot, do you?
It's not.
Mrs. Elfstead is not going to leave town with Lovborg having to go to court. It will be very public.
And you're
And he will once again be disgraced.
Poor Tessman and I will be the one household that will keep him.
Because we're all so close.
I wouldn't want you to get your hands dirty out of charity.
Besides, if there's to be a third joining Tessman and me, it better be you, right?
Precisely.
Can you
Legally?
forbid us from holding him here?
No. But I can tell you firmly.
Ah, then you have no power over me.
You're right about that. For the moment, can you think what might happen had I power over you?
I can almost hear a threat in that.
Almost.
Well, I've said everything I came to say. So, I'll leave you to your household that you love so much. I'll go out the back way if you don't mind.
Careful.
Careful.
You might get shot.
It's hunting season.
And
Wild
wild
ducks
ducks
thrown near this house.
I'll take my chances. Goodbye. For now.
Well, a house with revolving doors.
A little early.
You're picking up there, don't you?
Yeah. A little early.
How do you know she's here?
I asked at the motel. She didn't return last night. Is, Tessman awake yet?
No, he's asleep.
Right. And, what did he tell you about last night?
All I know is you had a grand time.
Either. Finally.
No, thanks. Don't touch me.
What? What's the matter? You've come back.
Perhaps I should give the two of you the room alone.
No, no, no. I want you to witness.
Witness what? Eilert, what is going on?
Thea, it's time that we end this. Between us. This has to end.
What? How can you say that?
You can no longer be of any use to me.
You can stand there and say that to me? Of no use? Did I not sit there for weeks, for months, and help you with your work? Amongst other things. And
There is no more work for me, and so you can be of no use.
well, how cruel, Island. What should I do then?
Go home. Thea, as if I never existed. It's best.
No. No, I refuse. This is nonsense. I will stay until the book comes out at the very least.
Look,
Book. Oh, well. Will not be released.
What? Where's the manuscript?
yes.
What have you done with it?
Where is the manuscript? This isn't funny. Island, where's the manuscript? Where is it?
There.
Where's the
I
manuscript?
tore it up into 1 billion little pieces and threw them, look, and threw them into the lake. There was a strong wind. They floated and flew like a flurry of leaves on the water.
Island! You're lying!
Believe what you want. I thrown my life away. Why not do the same with the book? The wind will let up, and the paper will settle and sink into the water, just like I will.
It's not just a book. It is my child. It is our child. You are a cold-blooded monster to kill something so precious.
You're right. I've murdered our child.
I have nothing left. You have taken everything from me.
Poor thing. You stay in town.
I have no idea. But I know I will be as far away from that man as possible.
Violet, will you not at least walk her out?
And take her down further by letting her be seen with me. I've done enough harm.
Yes, you have. You are ruined, Island. And to think I almost worshipped you. How stupid!
Won't pretend to know what happened last night.
Surely there's some way of fixing this.
No. Even if there was, it's broken.
What's broken? Hey. Don't be so dramatic. Island, it doesn't suit you.
Damn it, Hedda, don't you see? I've broken her. And in return, been broken by her. No courage. She could have stayed, braved it out with me, but she didn't. She left.
So, that wretch had a hand in a human destiny. Poor fool. Well, what did you expect?
After treating her so terribly? After destroying the one thing that she had worked on for so long, that she carried in her soul. Heartless.
No, you do not call me heartless! Anyone but you may call me that!
Fine!
I'll be honest with you, Hedda. Because what else can I do now? first, give me your word that what I'm about to tell you will never get back to her. I didn't tear the manuscript up. I didn't throw it into the lake, but I've destroyed it regardless. She was right, you know? To call it our child. Murdering a child is not the worst thing a father can do, Hedda. It's not.
Reed. Murdering a child is not the worst thing a father can do.
Please. Tell me.
What worse thing can a father do?
I suppose a man takes his child out for what's meant to be an innocent night. The mother stays asleep at home, trusting the father to be the guardian, the protector. And the father, having no control over himself, takes the child to this bar and that where the time slips by. Drink follows drink, and the child is looked after by this woman or that friend. No matter, surely the child must be safe. The father is nearby. But then, Hedda, suppose the father slips away himself, caught up in the minutiae of it all, and comes to the mother the next morning and says, look, last night didn't go exactly as planned. We ended up here and there and a little bit of everywhere, and, well, long story short. I have no idea where our child is. I have completely lost our child. No one knows where it may be, into whose fiendish hands it may have fallen.
At the end of the day, it really is just a book.
Not a child, but a book.
Our souls were in that book. The future was in that. Nothing is left for me now.
What do you intend to do?
What do you think, Hedda?
Leonard. Listen to me. You must. You must. You do it beautifully. Gracefully. Please try. Please try. Do it beautifully.
Beautiful. Still on it, huh? With vine leaves in my hair, as you always said.
I don't believe in vine leaves anymore.
But I do believe. I do believe that you can do it. Beautifully. At least that. You cannot come back here.
Not ever.
Goodbye, Mrs. Tessel.
Wait. Take this with you. Do you remember? It's the one I gave you.
You should have shot then.
No. Do it yourself.
Goodbye, Hedda Gabler.
Wait, I'm sorry. Don't go. Don't go.
Miss Little One. Miss Little One.
No. No, that's not yours. You give it back. You give it
No,
back.
Hedda.
No, that's mine.
Burning your baby.
No, it's mine. It's mine. No, it's not. Please give it back.
Pocket full of clothes.
No!
They all fall down.
Please,
Ring around the road.
no!
Eilert at all?
No, I haven't. Why? What's the fuss?
That's strange. I went to the motel to see him to tell him we had his manuscript and he wasn't there. Then I saw Thea and she said that he'd been here earlier.
Oh, yes. Just after you'd gone, I dreamt it for a moment. Yes, he was here.
So is it true that he said he's torn up his manuscript?
Yes, he was just raving on and on about it.
He has lost his mind. Well, it was smart of you not to give it back to him in that state. Did you tell him we had it?
No, I was afraid. I didn't know what he'd say. Did you tell Thea?
No, I didn't think it was the wisest thing. Well, here, let me have it.
I don't have it.
Hedda, this is no time for foolishness. Let me have the manuscript.
I would, but
The fire ate it.
What?
I burned it.
every last page.
You what? What, Hedda? Why?
It's done. It's done.
Ashes to ashes.
Hedda, what were you thinking? Surely you must have been possessed of something. Why would a person do such a thing?
George. Of course. I did it for you. When you told me how it made you feel, that jealousy, well, you admitted you envied him. And I couldn't stand the thought of someone taking what was rightfully ours. We built a life on what you could accomplish.
I don't know what to say. I mean, it's not like you to display such an act of love. Really, Hedda? You did this for me, for us?
Killing me. Jesus, George, it's killing me.
What?
All this insanity over a damn book.
And a word.
Fine, call it insane, but I call it love. I love. Do you feel it? Or did you feel anything? This coldness, It's all an act. This is all an act. And I finally see the real you. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
What is
to go
wrong
back again
now?
like this. I think something terrible has happened to Eilert.
You think?
Why would you think that?
Because I heard rumors as I was going into town. Rumors of an incident.
As I said, I heard rumors too. People will talk. I personally saw Eilert back to his room last night.
No,
I don't
no, because I went back there and they wouldn't tell me anything. They wouldn't tell me whether he'd come back or not. But as I approached, I heard people saying something about Eilert in the hospital, and I just don't know what's going on.
You know, the hospital, you must have heard wrong.
There's no way he's in the hospital.
Something terrible has happened to Eilert. I could feel it in my stomach. But I couldn't bring myself to go and see for sure.
Maybe I can go and see.
George, it's best that you stay out of this.
Oh, Brack. I take it you're here because of Aunt Julia's passing?
Among other things.
Yeah. It's awful.
I suppose it depends on how you look at it.
Is there something else?
Something awful, Josh?
Depending on how you look at it, Mrs. Tessman.
It's Eilert. I know it.
Do you already know something?
Loud with it. Brack, what's the news?
It's Lovborg. He's dead.
Oh, Hedda, I'm so angrily. And with such harsh words. What happened?
Oh, I'm sure he's done it to himself.
Good guess, Mrs. Tessman.
He shot himself?
Right again, Mrs. Tessman.
When did it happen?
It happened this afternoon. where it happened is still a mystery, but indeed, he shot himself in the chest.
In the chest.
Exactly, as I just said.
It wasn't in the temple?
Mrs. Tessman, I am very sure that what I am telling you is fact.
How do you know all this, Judge? Is there a chance you could be mistaken?
As you might imagine, Mr. Tessman, I am well informed on police matters and shootings in the district.
Well, looks like someone finally did something worth doing.
Something worth doing?
Well, of course there's beauty in the act itself, isn't there?
Eilert Lovborg made a mess of his life. Took upon himself to do the right thing.
It is beautiful and courageous, isn't it? To do the right thing and make that sort of sacrifice.
How can you think of it that way?
He must have been in a state of shock or something. This is not a sane act.
Oh, I'm sure he was quite right in his mind.
Of course he wasn't. He was crazed. Just think of how he tore up our manuscript.
He did what?
He tore up our manuscript and he drowned it in the lake. And I was so cruel to him about it.
Imagine to be in such a state, to take your own life, and with it, the one thing that would have immortalized him.
Wait, there may be a way to put it back together with the notes that I took when he dictated.
You took notes?
No.
Of course I took notes. And I brought them with me when I left home.
Perhaps then, Mrs. Elf said we can put the pieces back together, you and I.
And he can still be immortalized and remembered as beautiful after all.
I will dedicate my life to completing this.
George.
You'll dedicate your life to completing the work of a drunk.
Don't you think, Hedda, that I owe it to him? Poor man. I do owe it to him, despite what you may think. Now, Mrs. Elvstead, we will stop mourning long enough to reclaim his name.
Absolutely. That is the right thing to do.
Please come with me into the study. Excuse us.
Don't you think, friend, that this act of Eilert's grants such freedom?
Oh, I'm sure it was a release for him in some way.
Oh, no, not for me. There's absolute proof that a true act of courage can still occur.
Well, Miss Hedda.
Save your breath, you know what you're going to say.
I was only going to ask if there was something more between the two of you than you previously let on.
I will not answer pointed questions like that. Don't be obscene. What I know for sure is that Eilert Lovborg lived life the way he wanted and ended it in a great, bold act of beauty. He chose for himself when to stop museum life and have the courage to follow through with his intentions.
Well, I'm sorry to say then that I stretched the truth a bit for Mrs. Elvsted's sake.
What do you mean by that?
He didn't actually commit suicide. And it's very clear where it happened.
Who cares where it happened?
In the bedroom of Miss Diana, if that makes a difference.
No, that's impossible. He was there last night, and that's the end on it. You must be mistaken.
No, quite positive. He demanded his lost child back. Of course, at first I assumed he meant his manuscript, but now that I know he destroyed that himself, I can only guess it was his wallet he was after.
And what are you leaving out? It wasn't suicide. Did someone else shoot him?
No. It seems the pistol was in his breast pocket, and it discharged on its own.
In the chest.
Lower. The intestines. Lowest possible way to go. To accidentally shoot yourself in the bowels while trying to get your wallet back from a prostitute? Shame. There's your bill.
Oh, no, there is no such thing. As beauty or courage. Oh, they must not exist. Ha! Everything I touch turns to infection.
The last piece of the puzzle is perhaps the most intriguing to me, at least. The pistol, it seems, was yours. You must have stolen it, am I correct?
No, he did not steal it.
Think very carefully and shut your mouth. He stole it, because that's the only logical conclusion.
My writing desk is terrible. Hedda, do you mind if we sit at your
It's
desk?
fine, just let me clear it off.
Don't worry about that. We don't need a lot of space.
Can you just let me arrange my things that I have? George, can you give me that one thing? Can you just let me arrange the things that are mine as I would have them arranged? Why must it have been stolen?
Because nothing else would make sense to anyone but me, Hedda.
Then you know.
He was here this morning. You said so, correct?
Yes.
Were you two ever alone?
Yes.
Did you ever leave the room at any time during his visit?
I did not.
See, if the two of you were alone and you left the room for a moment, well, he's the only other person who would have known you'd left the room. And he's no longer here to say one way or the other.
Of course. I went into the hall. I thought I heard something.
And where was your pistol case?
Locked up in the desk.
Have you looked to see whether both pistols are still there?
Of course not.
There's no need. I recognized it.
Is it with you?
It's with the police.
And what will they do with it?
Well, they will try to find the gun's owner.
Do you think they will succeed?
Not as long as I keep my mouth shut, Hedda Gabler.
And if you keep your mouth shut, what will they decide?
That it was stolen.
I'd rather die.
Oh, people say such things. They don't do them.
Let's say the gun was not stolen and they find out. What then?
Scandal.
Scandal.
Indeed, scandal. I know how you hate scandal, Hedda. Just think. Both you and Miss Diana will have to testify. Did the gun go off accidentally as he took it from his pocket? Was he trying to threaten her with no real intention of shooting? Or did she wrestle the gun from his hands, shoot him, and put it back in his pocket? The court might believe that. She has a history, and she's healthy enough to have overpowered a man, especially one in a weakened state.
Yes, but what does any of that have to do with me?
Well, you will have to answer why you gave him the pistol in the first place. And then what will people think was your reason behind giving it to him?
People will think what I tell them.
Perhaps. Either way, as long as I stay quiet, there is no danger of it ever becoming
So you
a
have all the
scandal.
power. You own me. No. No. I will not be any man's property. I will not let you control me.
You'll get used to it over time. It'll be much easier if you just
George!
accept it.
How's the writing going? Do you think you'll make much progress?
Yes, I think so. It'll take time, of course, but it's nothing I can't handle.
curious predicament they had. Here you are, sitting next to my husband, working on the manuscript in the exact manner you worked on the same manuscript with Eilert Lovborg. It's almost as if the cycle just repeats itself. I don't inspire your husband.
That is the difference, I think.
You will. In time, you will become his muse.
I do feel inspired.
Mm.
Now, Hedda, please, let us work.
Can I help at all?
No. Go and relax with Judge Brack. I trust he'll take good care of you.
Of course.
I think I'd rather just lie down. Give me a kiss. That's smooth. What on earth is
Hedda, we are trying to work! God, the play's such music. Two people meeting such terrible fates. Hedda, shame on you!
You see, we play a celebratory song. For all the lost souls. After this, I'll have made my tribute and shall remain quiet.
Mrs. Elfstead, there is an empty room at my aunt's. I think it's best if we continue our work there in the evening so we aren't as easily distracted.
I can still hear you, George. And what should I do in the evening then as distractions?
Oh, I can stop by every evening to entertain you, Mrs. Tessman. I can think of a great many things we could do.
Sure you can, Judge. So you're now the third in our little home. What a happy circle of friends are we.
Pistols! Hedda! 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 Judge, call her in. She shot herself. Oh God, in the temple? No, Hedda, please, no, please, no, Hedda, no, I'm sorry. Hedda. I'm sorry, Hedda. I'm sorry.
Absurd. People don't do such things.
Darkness, darkness, darkness. Then I stopped dreaming I'm supposed to fill it up with song.